Yo, I came across this video real quick and I wanted to do a reaction. I'll put the link in the description in a little bit. This is of a kind of a black couple channel. Now, this is a video that came through my contacts, my home section. So I don't know what the fuck it is. I'm just giving context to this, and I want you all to hear it. And so we're gonna go through it real quick. Hopefully my phone stays charged up enough. So y'all, if y'all are in here, press one if y'all can hear it. Press one if y'all can hear the sound.
Magazine with her little fist.
Now I've gone through about 5 minutes of this already outside of like the clip. I'm still up. I got tomorrow off. But BGS, you gonna love this shit. I'm glad you came up here. Um, you know, what it is I slept during the day a little bit, so that's the short answer. But you gonna love this. So get through it a little bit. So I want y'all to hear this bullshit. BGS, I've been on one. I'm asleep after this, but I was about to chill out, but I saw this shit and I gotta react to it. You gonna love BGS, you are going to love this shit. So this is part of this is the Joe Budden thing, but this is gonna be a reaction. So as you all can see, it's a reaction from male and female. Let me make sure if I point that the right way. I know I'm being ghetto with it. We give no fucks. So here we go. So let's go ahead and play this real quick. I know I don't feel like setting my shit up. So
Welcome back to another episode. So, babe, what are we having on Doctor today? What are we doing? Okay, so Joe Budden. Joe Biden. Joe Budden, Pump It Up, has a podcast and he had Kevin Samuels on it.
yeah, I don't even know him from Pump It Up.
You guys love our Kevin Samuels reactions and you said more.
So let's just go through it because y'all.
I'm not sure, dude. Think about on my show that women call into my show voluntarily. They know what it is and they're calling in saying, regardless of their situation, I want a man who's making the kind of money to be able to provide for a family of 2 or 3 or better. I don't want to have to work to pay significant bills. And regardless of how I come to the table, that's what I want. And I ask, why can't you just get an average regular guy?
All the time.
And how often do these women laugh? We have no problem when women are laughing and half the male population or more. So when a man just happens to say, you know what, ma'am? Objectively, you weigh more than the men at your height. I am so damn tired of women telling men what we think.
Press one if y'all can hear it.
Say what we want. And you know why this is? Because 80% of us was raised by mothers.
Press one if y'all can hear it, so I know.
Women leading us, they think they own us.
Ooh.
Yeah, and they don't.
That's true.
All right.
The only group of men that demur to our women. Go over to Chinatown and see if this shit happens. Go over to the Middle East. Go ask Muhammad or Ahmed what they don't put up with this mess. We put up with it because we have such an irrational, dysfunctional reverence for women in our culture because we have a matriarchy to where they try to make us question our own minds.
It's our fault though. Would you agree with that?
I will say that there is. I want to be careful when I say that because that's going to get misused. There are some.
Okay, so first of all, it was the dude. I think it was the bald headed dude. Ironically, the shortest dude that said it's our fault. And notice how that was just his default reaction off top. I'm not talking about the dude that's actually doing the reaction, but the dude on Joe Buttons. Like I would have like see, and this is where you gotta. I get the format. I get what it's trying to do. But honestly, if we were in the barbershop, I would say, why do you think that? Why do you think that? Why is your default position it's our fault? And then this comes back to the basic shit of black men ain't do shit. Basically, the Cynthia G talking points were just projected in a much nicer way. Black men don't do shit. They don't build shit. They don't do this. And it never enters these dudes' minds because they are see, this is what people got to understand, and this was true for the 40-year-old dude, the dude with the lighter skinned dude with the curly hair, when he kept saying women get in the mud, and it turns out that when he explained it, he was talking about his mom. Like, this shit is embedded in you at a young age. And that is very important because when you got BGS talking about what are you doing with your boys, well, we know what the fuck they're doing with their boys. They're programming them. We know exactly what they're doing. And you see them how they come out. And so this is why when BGS says the stuff that he says on the black agnostic things, he been on the one on that. Like people don't black men choose to ignore that. So even if I say it's our fault, it is not our fault for the reasons why most dudes say it. Most dudes will say because you niggas ain't shit and you all didn't build shit. Well, first of all, and so it's like you gotta say that literally 3 generations of black men fucked up. What you're essentially saying, well, 2. What you're essentially saying is millennials are just born in the shit. And really, low key, what you really trying to say is we deal with this shit now because the Xers just completely dropped the fucking ball. And if you really understand anything about that generation, you know that is absolutely not true. So you have to accept that the black men in the Xer group completely fucked up and that the women just had to pick up their shit. And we never talk about that because if that was the narrative, then you know we'd always be talking about it. But we know that's not the narrative, and that's why that time is never really talked about because we know it's a lot deeper than that. But I just wanted to point that out. That's not even the main reason me doing this video. But that nigga was like, yeah, but you know it is our fault. I would have been like, why? Like I'd be like, first of all, have you ever even questioned that? Have you ever even questioned that it's our fault? Because it sounded like you just assuming that shit, just like somebody told you about Jesus, and because you were told that at a young age, you just took that as what it was. And when you actually push on these dudes, you realize they just think what they think because they fucking mama told them. That's it. Anyway, I don't want to belabor this. I really don't, because I don't have a lot of battery life. And I hope BJ's still listening, because I want to get to this other part.
The structural things that happened that, okay, in the 60s, when
By the way, BJ's, I hope you got that email I sent you with what Elise Neal and Melissa Ford said.
The Great Society came in, and Lyndon Johnson put in the Great Society. They did not expect to happen what happened. Go read the Monahan report. And Monahan
Shout out to BGS.
They did not expect to give government assistance and food stamps to the black community and for women to choose the check over the men.
We've talked about.
They were actually confused as to why this happened. I was like, wait a minute, we thought we would give this to you for a little bit, and then
which ain't got nothing to do with black men. That was a choice they made. But see, he can't say that because as Obsidian say, Mama.
Once you kind of got stable, then you get back with. But no, they took the benefit. So
don't stop. Ish, I want to hear what he has to say about going between the 6.
An adjustable 6, meaning she can go from cute to pretty. But see, when I judge women,
So this is very interesting because I've actually seen in the comments before.
That's where it gets good. Now this is at 1.25 playback speed.
Men saying, "Black women, you do not own us."
Right.
And so
now what she's going to do, and this is why I want to do a video, is she is going, and I understand this is your girl. I get that. But what she is essentially going to do, what is she essentially going to do is she's going to, in her mind, try to explain the matriarchy. And she's going to do a piss poor job at doing it. So I want to let this play out.
Level of a mindset that I guess a lot of black women have, that we feel black men belong to us.
Okay.
And I've said this before, but there's also this kind of loyalty.
Now, BGS has stated that black men, on multiple occasions, that black men belong to black women, but they don't feel in reverse. That's actually what prompted me to do the video, and I didn't realize they were talking about something in reverse.
That black women have to black men. To black men belong to us.
Okay.
And I've said this before, but there's also this kind of loyalty that black women have to black men, to where they don't want to date outside their race, so they expect black men.
First of all, nothing in that clip had anything to do with race, dating outside your race. I don't understand why you brought that up. And the reality is, the idea of black loyalty is a fucking myth. That is not true. We're your only option. And black men need to start this is why I keep telling y'all, black men, y'all need to start pushing black women to date out. Because you're going to have to force them to understand, bitch, I know you ain't got no other option. So, yeah, we about to tell you what the fuck is going to be. Otherwise, SYSBM all day. And fuck that bullshit. Black men need to force them out. This is why I tell you that, because they are allowed to swirl in that mentality of, no pun intended, of, well, we're loyal to each other. No, you're not. You're not loyal to us. That's like saying I'm loyal to ramen noodles. No, you're broke. There's a difference.
And not to, but there's also this kind of loyalty that Black women have to Black men, to where they don't want to date outside.
This is the first video I've seen, and I get it, that's your girl, but I mean, I just hate this. If you're gonna do this shit, do it right. Don't be a yes nigga.
Their race, so they expect Black men not to as well. And I never thought about it from that standpoint of people coming from single family households and being raised by mothers, to then think that you have to marry a Black woman.
Okay, right.
That's very interesting. So I'm gonna have to ponder on that a little bit more. Right. But I think,
I'm sorry, even if this would have been my girl, I'd be like, look, baby, I love you, but that has nothing to do with what he said. There is nothing in that goddamn whole hour and 40-minute podcast that had to do with really dating outside the race. I don't know why her mind went there. And see, in her mind, that's really the only justification. That actually gives a lot of insight about how she thinks. But that has nothing to do with the conversation.
Black women feel that way because, and this is not an excuse, but we know what Black men go through. Right. And so we understand what you go through.
Do you? Because I'm calling that shit into question. Because Kevin is proving anything. You got most Black women, like if I prompt, like, God, Kevin has such, you all have no idea the opportunities Kevin had. Like literally, do you understand that you could charge Kevin Samuels to do polls? Kevin literally has probably like a couple of like multiple hundred thousands of Black women, his shit that would do a poll. Do you realize, I promise you, if Cynthia G do you realize if you do a poll saying who go through more, Black women or Black men, ladies only, do you really believe that poll's gonna turn out they think we go through more? I'm curious. I don't know. I would take bets on that.
Go through. And so when you get into a relationship with someone of a different race, there are certain things that they just don't know.
Ooh. What the fuck does this have to do with what Kevin said? Why play the video? Like, this is some clickbait shit. It really is. Now, I'm getting to the point where I've got to the end, and I've heard O'Shea say similar things. My thing, and this is why I say in response to that too, Black men already know what we like, and this is, again, BGS. You get more empathy from white women than you do Black women. Like, for real though. Like, you got to really ask yourself, and this is what I would ask her. I would say, so you know what we go through. How does that translate into how, so let me ask you this. Do you think the average Black woman treats the average Black man with empathy? Do you believe that? And she's going to start choking up just like that therapist did. Or she'll start trying to make, fuck you. I'm talking about Black women in general. So, and we know the answer. The answer is no. Black women are notorious for their attitudes that is 90% directed to Black men. So all that bullshit about what you think you know, that's bullshit. That is complete. That's some shit y'all say, but y'all don't really y'all don't have a kinetic feel on that. It's like if you say some shit, it's like, BGS talking about in a video, since he here, that he read that book, that sexual politic book, and then he said in the thing, I know this shit is true because I lived this shit. Okay, if I read some shit in a book and BGS lived it, who the fuck am I gonna be to tell him about what the fuck he lived? This is the shit. That's what, it's a difference. And most Black women really, what they see growing up is they see Black men being coddled by their mothers. That's what they see. They do not see they don't really kinetically see the shit that so they say that shit, but that's some passe shit that they say. Let's go.
Wow. Yeah.
And so it's like, yeah,
this person doesn't necessarily know your history,
right?
Or what you've gone through,
I mean, this nigga's just being a yes nigga. I'm like, dude, don't do that. This nigga don't. This is your history. Are you serious?
people have gone through.
Right. And so because, and like you said, in our community, there's a matriarchy.
Right.
So there's a lot of black women protecting black men.
Oh,
so you see it all the time where
you already know this is what set my ass off. That statement is what said, yeah, I fuck sleep for a second. I gotta speak on this shit. That shit. Because first of all, what I would tell her is, with all due respect, you don't know what the fuck you're talking about. I can tell you ain't read no fucking books that has anything to do with any of this shit. And I can tell you, I promise you, you don't have any content. And I can even see how she's looking up when she's talking. She's feeling her way through it as she talks, which I get it. She has every right to have an opinion. But what I'm saying is, you don't know what the fuck you're talking. You're pulling from information of what you think you know now to kind of connect that. So yeah, you know it's a matriarchy, but now the matriarchy is designed to protect black boys. Your black boys can't read. Your black boys are being school to prison pipeline. Your black boys are getting suspended. Y'all ain't protecting shit. Like for that to even come out your mouth, and I want to say this. Let me be a little bit empathetic. Michelle, this is one thing. If you read interviews with Michelle Alexander, one thing that Michelle Alexander says is she says that she had a pen. This is the woman that wrote Jim Crow 2.0. She said she had a very uppity bourgeoisie, basically bourgeoisie is what she says, opinion of black people. Basically, black people just need to be accountable to the fuck that you're in America. Kind of like what you hear Ramil say. Right? And this is true for black men and black women. And it wasn't until she did the work that ended up becoming like what she wrote in that book that she really understood how a lot of this shit is just coded up. That's when she really understood that how black people at a macro level are set up to have like a certain outcome. Now individually we can play that game. Now we know the majority of that shit goes after black men, not black women. Black women do not deal with that bullshit in the same way black men do. And by the way, this sounds eerily similar to a lot of the videos BGS has been recently doing. And this is a random video that came through my home feed.
Even the little girl, I don't know her name, but she was on like Time magazine with her little fist marching, and she was upset and angry. And it's on, and so you see it all the time where even the little girl, I don't know her name, but she was matriarchy.
Right.
So there's a lot of black women protecting black men. Right. And so you see it all the time.
Oh, yeah, she's about to give an example.
Where even the little girl, I don't know her name, but she was on like Time magazine with her little fist marching, and she was upset and angry. And it's on us to be the protectors of black men, even from a younger age.
So she is talking about a little girl. She is associating a little girl with the matriarchy and a picture owned by a white company, an image. And see, this is the goofy shit. And this nigga just going right along.
He that ride or die.
Right.
And so
notice how she keeps connecting it to a relationship of who she's fucking. Notice that. She's jumping around, but she keeps cluing it into these cues of like ride or die and shit like that.
Unfortunately, this is something that black women are taught, and I don't think it's in a way.
Now, we know they're taught, but are you really going after the people? Who teaches it? Where does it? Who teaches it? See, people love to go to these like doors that they don't want to open. Black men do that goofy shit too. That's why I attack black people that talk about education, and I say, fuck your education, talk about culture. Culture, Asians don't tend to come out of school with a whole lot of debt because Asians learn how to go to fucking school, college. But black women come out crushing debt because your culture's fucked up. Culture informs education. Education does not, think about it. I'll prove it. I will prove it to you Negroes right now. If you deal with a 87, and what is it? BGS is in this motherfucker right now. guess what? Make sure you subscribe to Black Nazi Speaks, that channel. Doing some really good stuff. Really great videos on there. Even going in. What do you call an 87 with a college degree? She's still a fucking 87. What is an 87 that why do you think 87 still fuck with dudes that are hood dudes? Why? Because that's their culture. Their class or subculture. Education does not rewrite people. And black people have led into this fucking, and shout out to Dr. Claude Anderson who talked about that. And he talked about that first. That's actually where I first heard that from. Education, that's a red herring. And black people like to talk about what you're taught in education. They don't understand what indoctrination is and how more powerful that is.
To where you belong to us, to where to where we control you, but that is happening. But there's also a level of we have to protect you.
Yeah.
No. And that is not what these niggas are saying when these niggas are saying that in your comment section. Why don't you all actually do an interview, or why don't you all actually talk to people that see, this is what happens. See, a motherfucker talk to BGS like that, and these motherfuckers won't be able to handle it. And this is what they're pulling from this shit. This is why you hear these women, oh, we protect you, we do this, we supposed to be protected. Like, you're not doing shit. How are you protecting anybody? Have to. Let's let it play.
And so there, we always talk about the dynamics being switched of women.
I can tell you right now, y'all not talking. She's having her opinion and you don't want to piss her off. I can tell right now, this dude ain't really forcing. He ain't really leading the shit. Like, he's basically, this is what a fucking partnership looks like. Where you basically going on shit when she ain't saying shit. This is why typically I like assertive women, because I know assertive women are going to have some logic behind their bullshit. Not know, well, I want to feel it out. No, fuck that.
Women being masculine and our men being feminine.
Yeah.
So
we hear that a lot.
Yeah, it's reversed.
Not just between just male and female in general, but we hear that a lot in the black community. The dynamics of black relationships, just being different than
more surface level bullshit.
So I would love to hear more about that, because Kevin, he wanted to dig a little bit deeper, but I guess whoever cut this felt like it wasn't important. You guys can send us a video if you want us to react to that.
Oh, I got some videos for your ass if you want some.
You mentioned before it switched over into the second half of the interview was when he was talking about government assistance, and we talked about this before on the channel where we mentioned how a lot of black people ended up on black women. That is, they ended up on government assistance back in the 60s and 50s and
I don't think it was the 50s. It had to be the 60s.
Or 60s, and it incentivized not having a man in the household. And so women were choosing to forego marriage. They were choosing to forego relationships. And
fuck.
In our community, there is in a way to where the hear more about that because.
See, the problem is, you know, if you're gonna have the conversation, have a fucking conversation. Like, this government shit is a way to blame. Now I get he did say choose. But my thing is, her shit is all the way to fuck off. Like, it really is. Like, protecting, like, no, what's going on is you all are cutting the nuts off these niggas in the home. You all are damaging these boys. And you're damaging these boys because there ain't no dude in the house to actually make them not feminine. Not some fucking, oh, well, we're protecting them. No, what the fuck you think you're doing is not working, clearly. But see, you all can't see that. And see, the women don't even challenge the elder women on this. They just go along with it.
Government assistance. And we talked about this before on the channel where we mentioned how a lot of black people ended up on black women. That is, they ended up on government assistance back in the 60s and 50s. And
I don't think it was the 50s. It had to be the 60s.
Or 60s. And it incentivized not having a man in the household. And so women were choosing to forego marriage. They were choosing to forego relationships in order to
get that money.
Keep getting that money sent, coming to help them out. And so, we see now.
It's still happening.
Well, it's still happening, but we see now the repercussions of that. Because now you've seen, if you look at a marriage chart, especially in the black community, you've seen how black
couples were getting married like crazy anytime, and from the from before the 1900s, but anytime before the 60s, it was just an increasing slope. And after that period, towards the 70s, it just started decreasing.
Yeah.
And so, it's just really crazy to see how that.
And whose fault is that? You can't say black men were poor because that's why you didn't marry, because that wasn't an issue before. So that's a choice the women made. Now they're gonna skate that shit. Watch them skate that bullshit. They're not gonna come to that conclusion. They're trying to leave it open-ended so it sounds like it's the state that did it. The state may have provided the opportunity, but they didn't commit the crime.
Dynamic just shifted everything in the community. Yeah. And on top of other movements and other things that were involved that led for black families not being together. Then there was like the drugs being brought into the communities, and just a big giant mess. And it's like, if you do want your man in the household, we're going to find a different way to take him. Yeah. We're going to put him in jail for...
You see what I'm saying? They're trying to make it's the state's fault. They're trying to blame the state. They're trying to blame, and see, I get it. I'm not saying the state doesn't have culpability, but you can't skate. See, they're trying to skate. Did I not tell you? And I haven't even seen this part.
Misdemeanor. You're going to be in here for like a lifetime. So, Tasha and I...
And where's black women been in fighting these laws? Really? Where have they been? Well, why don't y'all fight them?
We watch a lot of videos on this kind of stuff. Documentaries and stuff. But it's just outrageous how... so many things people had to go through during these times, and it literally
we're still going through it.
It felt like there was just no way out. Trap. So anyway, real trap right there. Yeah. So anyway, did you want to go ahead and continue with the rest of this video? Okay. Very interesting.
I don't judge them. I judge women by the same metric. This is where people get into the image consulting thing. I look at you, fresh face, no makeup, your natural state. And if you have ever seen her pictures, fresh face, natural state, she's a cute woman who can be pretty. But I don't think she's ever going to be considered to be beautiful or gorgeous. That does not mean she's bad, but there has to be a way she's already considered beautiful and gorgeous.
But he's saying strip away all of the accessories and you get what you get.
See, this is why when I talk about a scale, first off, there are people who hate the whole notion. There's a scale or there's a Eurocentric standard of beauty. I'm like, look, Pam Grier. Go back to the 70s. Pam Grier is an A.
Yes.
But she looks good. But the thing is, back then you would have seen someone like Diane Carroll.
But I'm laughing because it's funny because all these chicks have been throwing all these older generation women under the fucking bus, and I'm like, you fat bitches. Let me. I want to say it this way: you fat fuckers that weigh more than men, and then you bitches that are cutting your titties off, putting that blade in your asshole, trying to get fat transfers and shit because you're lazy as fuck and you can't stop eating. You actually have the fucking nerve to have something to say about black women that were pre-80s? Fuck out of here, man.
She's up in that 9 category. Dorothy Daniels have been up around that 10 area. There's always going to be levels to this. But what women today are saying is they're all 10s.
And they don't believe that.
True.
They don't believe that.
Themselves.
Listen,
See, this is why a lot of women were mad at the "Your Average at Best" video. Okay, yeah. And a lot of women could see themselves in her.
Right. Yeah, absolutely. And the truth, and I'm not going to do the whole video because I ain't got the time. I'm done. I did what I wanted to do. But my thing is, a lot of black women don't believe it's a scale. Black women think like men, where they think they can be cocky and they can have swag. They actually believe that they can have... This is how masculine black women are. Black women actually believe that they can swag their way into being a 10. That's why they're actually imitating men. When men have that, they talk about that confidence and shit that they're sexually attracted to. Black women have become such transsexuals internally that they actually believe that they actually believe, and I'm talking about law of averages. You can call that bullshit all you want to about some but not all, because this is how most black women think. They actually believe that they can swag their way out of how they look. If I show enough cockiness and bravado to this nigga, he's going to want to fuck me more. And this is how reversed the roles are. It's literally heterosexual women acting like studs. And because all them women are supposedly heterosexual that calls in a Kevin, right? Yet they're acting like they're trying to attract a beta woman if they're an alpha female. You got to really think about that. And really, they don't believe there should be a scale. This is why they always present to you their money, their education. What does that sound like? Women are presenting men with things that men are supposed to present to women. And what do you never hear women say? They never hear, rarely do they talk about having a body, rarely do they talk about how they look. When you look at all the women that Kevin called, it's Kevin that has to bring up how they like how much you weigh, dress size, all that. The physical metrics they never look at. That is how psychologically transsexualized black women are. When you really think about it. But I wanted to share that video with you. I'll share it in the video probably tomorrow because I'm gonna be fucked up. But yeah, man, that I mean, and to be fair, this seems like a nice couple. She seems like a nice. She's not somebody I beat up as far as verbally. Because she seems like, you know, the thing about it is, it's kind of like one of those things that the type of the level that they've done their own work, and you have to understand they're not. This is surface level shit. Like they're where we were, and like, man, honestly, this is some 2000 for me. This is like some 2007, like 6 shit. I was smarter. I knew more about the shit with this in high school, honestly. And this is not me trying to say they're dumb or anything. I mean, people are at different levels. They definitely show they have a willingness to learn. Obviously, she seems, so she seems like, all right. I mean, even though she's weaving it up with the, with the tracks, but whatever. But but yeah, black couples rock. I'm not hating, but it just, the thing about it is, and this is why, like I keep telling you, BGS. I said it in my stream. I'm gonna say it here. You need to reactivate. I do believe you should reactivate your BGS for women. I really do. I really do. I really think you need to reactivate that. At least for the women. I wouldn't have said that before, but there needs to be other outlets of motherfuckers that actually know. And everybody can't go on Kevin, and everybody ain't gonna want the format that Kevin has where you're gonna be aired the fuck out like that. They need to know. That's my opinion. No, it is female swag. I mean, am I wrong, yo? Let's see what y'all got to say. So, BGS, Roger Report, Doug Green, Aaron B. I'm scanning books. BGS scanning books. JR. I don't know why that's funny. JR, you really coming with it? You have been cranking out the content. Respect BJJ more. You make every second of the day count. Yep. Bitch splaining. Yeah. I mean, she seems like a pretty nice female, though. It's just, I mean, you got to go at the rip. That's his wife. You know what means. I mean, I assume they boyfriend, girlfriend. I don't know. Yeah, I just came across their video. No, they don't. Her mind went there because she wants to be right. Yeah, man. Yeah, man. We just want to be loyal. I'm like, y'all are not loyal. Some, but that look, 20% of y'all on the team, 80% of y'all varying degrees on betrayal. She just lying about them understanding. Yeah, that's not true. And the truth that they care is not true either. But see, black men got to start pushing that issue because black men see a lot of those arguments. The last Hokage, it's very telling that in a short amount of time, Kevin is a larger footprint with black women than for Harriet Madame Noir and Lucia. I don't know. But I would love that bitch for Harriet. I hate that bitch. Man. I like looking at that chick makes me angry, and that's very rare. Every time, like that's her brand. Every time I see her video, that just scowl. That she's like, if being a black woman was a person, it'd be her. If hating black men was a person, it'd be that bitch. I love to see her do a video on Kevin. I love to see her take a crack at it. Shout out to Kevin. He's at 7. Oh shit, yo, you niggas. Hold on. Yeah, you get damn right. I'm a Kevin Samuel stan for all you folks that want to talk this shit. 7:19. Oh, we in the countdown. Shit. I might have to see. We're gonna be doing it this weekend. We gonna be yep. Oh, and he lost another 1,000, yo. He's at 22. Oh shit. He's at 22. He's at 22. We need to do that. We need to do that. This is what we need to play this weekend if he passes them. So we need to play this weekend. This is what we need to play this weekend if he passes Derek Jackson.
Got up this morning, things weren't working right. I said I wanna make a change. I said I wanna fight. Obama walked up and said yes, we can. I said I wanna ride your nuts, cause I think you're the man. Now I'm big riding Obama. Big riding Obama. Now I'm big riding Obama.
Yeah, some of the animators, they need to make that spoof, yo. They need to make that spoof. That shit would be so funny, cause just to show how goofy these motherfuckers are. He said for Harriet, she's not gonna address that issue because it's gonna make her. Yeah, it would make her look bad. It would. It would be basically an ugly girl argument. Gen Z got it right. The only thing is moving the needle is rejecting a bad deal. Yeah, because and Danielle said it before. That's the only one thing they are who they are, and they're gonna start. It's like yeah. What up, bros? Guess what? Early this morning, I know I am Metro. I'm out here, Metro Atlanta. Ooh, yeah. Women just want to get be mothers in the black community. Class of deflection. What show was that? I'll share it in the community tab. They want to be mothers. They don't want to be exactly. And this is why they don't want to be married, but they want to be single mothers. Like, dudes got to start pushing this issue. Can somebody tell me what is playing? I'll share it. Ray Hano, Apple autocorrect. Yeah, man, I gotta check out the Apple. The fucking Apple thing too. Because they came up with some shit. I forgot. I skipped that shit all day. I forgot about that too. And that's well, meaning or not, these women still doing too much damage. Sister George that's funny. Our Crimson Cure got a good format for women. Yeah, the thing about Kendra is that a lot of black women are afraid to talk to Kendra because Kendra will get in their ass. So Kendra will get in their ass. That's the thing. And they have no protection against a female. Tahir got it coming. He better wake up. I don't know. We'll see. I hope for the best. Kevin need to do shows and movies like Tyler Perry. I'll be honest with you. That is probably how they would try to neutralize his ass too. Give him. See, Kevin's the type of person where the way you try to neutralize him is you pay him. They would pay Kevin off, and they might have that. That's what they're gonna have to do. They're gonna have to pay him off by and he do look like he be in a fucking Tyler Perry movie. Kevin do got that look. They pay him off, they make him a sellout, and then they throw him back out there. Derek Jackson fan base. Nah, it ain't dropping that fast. He's still gaining people because he'd have to be gaining people for it to take this long for him to lose people. But yeah, they have a 4,000 subscriber gap now. 4,000 subscriber gap. Honestly, Kevin will probably cover that. I would either Thursday or Friday. I wouldn't be surprised if he doesn't cover that Thursday, and I'd be surprised if he gets to Saturday and it's not covered. I gotta look at more of their videos though. I mean, my thing is my channel gets larger and I reformat it. Cause shout out to I'm at 3,800 subscribers, which ain't a lot, but it's definitely in the right direction. Whose stupid sister is that? But yeah, as far as that footprint, Madame Noir, like honestly, and Kevin's got other stuff that he can promote too. I mean, he really does. Like the thing you got to realize is Joe Budden has an entire network. I mean, imagine if Kevin and O'Shea and them combined and just made a network. I mean, that probably won't happen, but that could happen. Bitch planning. There's a lot of. I mean, imagine. I'm not saying this would happen, but like, and BGS was it? Please, man, these niggas. This should be over. Anyway, I'm out. I gotta go to sleep. Kendra is too deeply into it. Yeah, she is. There's a YouTuber, statuesque one, who is anti-gynocracy as well. She no longer posts videos. She was posting years ago. Yeah, I mean, the thing is, these women have more support than they did before, and it's more of them coming out. And they got to. It ain't about so much supporting the men. They just got to separate themselves from these chicks. Because these chicks are off the goddamn chains. So anyway, y'all.
Tomorrow, dick riding for today, dick riding for the straight, dick riding for the game, dick riding for America, dick riding for rock.